Hey everybody, and welcome to Steelbook Obsessed. My name is Jake, and I have a bit of a problem. I am blessed enough to get a lot of review copies in from physical media retailers, but as you can see over here, there's a better shot of it. It's just piling up. I wait to make content in order to put stuff away. I've waited far too long. I have a mission today, folks. I'm going to put away 100 movies. Yes, that's right. I don't know how many are on that stack. I know there's more than 100. If this sounds fun to you, make sure you give this video a like, a subscribe, all that fun stuff. But I'm not going to waste any more time because we got a lot of stuff to put away. I'm going to organize it. I'm going to show it off as well as I can. Before I put it away, let's start with some boutique titles, huh? Before I do that though, I'm just gonna show off a giant stack. I'm gonna show everything off that I possibly can. There's a lot of movies. I will give a count to how many movies are in this stack right up there. There's far too many, but I do see a lot of boutique labels, and that's my favorite thing to collect right now, that and Steelbooks. Steelbooks will be next, but first, let's put away some boutiques. So as you can see, I used my Umbrella Entertainment box sets as a nice, beautiful base because, dear Lord, I have a lot of boutique labels to put away, more than what I originally thought. This stack just continues to go and go and grow and grow. Am I almost done? There we go. Okay, let's back up here and just see what the entire stack looks like. Dear Lord, that is a lot of movies. 61 boutique labels, to be specific. Here's the stack. Afterwards, we already got rid of 1/4 of it pretty much already. We have 110 extra stragglers over there, but this is gonna take up more than half of our video. So I'm gonna stop wasting time right now and start putting away this one. Tropic Thunder. Even though it's just a little over 10 years old now, 15 years old, I'm old. This movie feels like it could not be made anymore today. Very happy to own the 4K in the collection, thanks to Bob's Blu-rays. This is going right next to Trilogy of Terror 2 and Remembering Gene Wilder. Oh god. In Bruges was facing out just like Crybaby was. It fell over, but that's okay because, dear Lord, here are some more Kino Lorbers that I got to put away in the collection. Let me alphabetize these and start putting them away. So I've kind of put together every single Kino Lorber. I have this much space to work with, and we have a line of Kino Cult titles to go over. Let's show them off, huh? That's upside down. There we go. First off, we have John Saxon and Cannibal Apocalypse. Oh, I love this Kino Cult line so much. I think it looks very, very nice. Next up, we have Empire of the Ants. I love the reversible slip artwork. I just love the feel of this cult line. Next up, we have H.G. Wells's The Food of the Gods. I love how there's different artwork to go with the slipcovers, so it gives you a real reason to collect the slipcovers. Next up, Ribbit, You're Dead. Here Comes Frogs with a mustacheless Sam Elliott. I need to see that to believe it. Next up, we have William Shatner in Kingdom of the Spiders. Oh no, that does not look good for Mr. Shatner. We've got 2 more left to go. Speaking of John Saxon, we have a 4K in the Kino Cult line with Nightmare Beach. This one looks the most intriguing to me out of all of the ones that I've shown off so far. So this will be the first one I watch. But last but not least, this might have the coolest cover artwork. Here is Squirm with the killer worms. I mean, look at that. Look at the slipcover, look at the inside artwork, all of it just looks great. And I think all of the Kino Cults put together look very nice indeed. But now that these are up, it's time to put away these Kinos. We got some 4Ks, we got some Blu-rays. I mix and match in between mine, call me crazy, but you can see that there's a 4K and which one is a Blu-ray. They still stand out. First up, we have Malcolm McDowell and Christopher Plummer in Aces High. That's going right next to the Kino Cult line. But then I have Blown Away. So I'm gonna put Bad Lieutenant over here. I'm gonna put Big Man over here. Blown Away, the 4K is gonna go right over here. It kind of bums me out when there's not different artwork to swap them out with, but I still think that Kino slipcovers look very, very nice. Now we move Brokeback Mountain, we move Crybaby, we move Death Machine, Dress to Kill, Eastern Promise, Fear and Desire, and then we have In. So I think In will go first, In Bruges, if you have not seen it. highest of recommendations from me. And now we have the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I have not seen a single Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I know I need to see the 70s one. I've heard the Invasion with Nicole Kidman is pretty good. That's coming out from Arrow Video in 4K. But I gotta watch the 50s one too, you know. Now let's move over this and keep New Year's Evil where it is, because we have Narrow Margin with Gene Hackman and Ann Archer to put in the collection before we put it in New Year's Evil. But before even New Year's Evil can move around, we have Burt Reynolds in Navajo Joe, excuse me. And yeah, that's the main reason why I want to see that, because people of color would be upset if that came out today. Here is New Year's Evil. Next up, we have a P, but we have a different P. Speaking of a Burt Reynolds, we have Paternity. Isn't that artwork the best on that? And then I just have a slipcover for Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. I might put that up here. But next up, I think we are going to just go in order. I'm putting this under P for Peril and Distress, but the two movies that are in here, excuse me, are And Soon the Darkness and Sudden Terror, both in 4K, and both look pretty good from the trailers that I've seen. But next up, we have Prime Cut. I was able to check this movie out. Very, very solid mobster flick with Lee Marvin and Gene Hackman as the two competing mob bosses. It's just cool because you never see like shootouts in flower patches or anything. Just very cool scenery here. Next up, we have Sudden Death on 4K. Very, very pumped to finally watch this movie. I wanted to watch it for a very long time now. Then another 4K, we have Ray Liotta, rest in peace, in Turbulence. We have, what, 3 more movies left? We have Ashley Judd, Samuel L. Jackson, and Andy Garcia in Twisted. Up next, we have Underground Aces, which looks like a big ripoff of Police Academy, except with parking cars. So there's something there. And last but not least, we have When 8 Bells Toll with Anthony Hopkins. Anthony Hopkins looking mighty rugged indeed. All of these look great, but dang, my Kino set is like all the way jam-packed now. Oh man, it looks so good. So in between boutique labels, I am going to put a couple of regular releases in the mix as well, and I could not put this in the collection quick enough. Ryan Gosling, 4K Steelbook of Drive. I'll put my Letterboxd review up here. Kind of talks about the transfer. I even made a video review of this movie if you want to hear all of my thoughts, but right now, this is going in the collection next to my Blu-ray edition of Drive because it looks so great. And Dumb Money, a movie that not enough people talk about and I thought was a blast. Next, let's go to my Imprint Film shelf all the way down here. I only have one sole edition to add to the collection, but it's a beaut, folks. It's a nice, beautiful box set of The Uninvited and The Unseen. If you do not have an Imprint Films box set in your life, you're missing out. Here's one that I have for The Wicker Man. I'll just showcase this off really quick, just to show you the beauty that is inside of these box sets. I actually let one of my friends borrow the final cut edition of Wicker Man, but this comes with 3 individual cases just for the different cuts of the film. Here's the theatrical and director's cut. Here, my friends, is the special features and soundtrack, which is very, very cool. And then, yeah, it's just nice. And the box set looks phenomenal. I do not have a 4K of The Wicker Man because I think this box set is the best packaging that can happen for this movie. And yeah, this also reminds me to ask my friend, where's my final cut of The Wicker Man? But I'm not sure if you saw this above my Imprint Films, but I have my sole A24 title that is Until Now. I have Marcel, the Shell with Shoes On. This one is way too tall to fit well in my my shelving unit right now. So what am I gonna do with Marcel? I don't know if I should just put it right here. It's gonna look weird. I think I need a couple more A24 titles in order to make its own section, but right now I guess that's not too bad, right? Now let's put away another non-boutique release, even though this you might be able to count a boutique release. I don't know. What do you think of the Paramount Scares line? Here is their 4K edition of Smile from their volume 1 of Paramount Scares. Personally, I enjoy it. I don't do much with the boxes though. I put the movies out and kind of display them with the rest of my collection. And right now, Smile is gonna go, if it can get in here, next to Smokey and the Bandit and Slumdog Millionaire. I think if I had to rank those, I would do Slumdog, Smokey, Smile. It's still making my heart very, very warm that I have all of these Kino Lorber editions, but right next to Kino, I have Criterion. I feel like the two kind of go hand in hand. I have 3 movies to put away in my Criterion collection, and the first one is gonna go right next to 12 Angry Men, or I guess, should it go before 12 Angry Men? It's It's 310, so I guess technically it's 3,10. This might anger some people. Let me know how you would number numbers in your collection. I'm doing 310, 12 Angry Men, 39 Steps. I kind of separate them from like the box sets and then the random crappy Curious Cage slipcover with the blue case. I don't like that release in my Criterion collection. But here's everything else. I think it looks mighty nice. Then we keep on going over Charlie Chaplin in Modern Times. Absolutely love this film. I'm going to put Paths of Glory right here. And right next to it, I'm going to put Petite Maman, the latest Criterion that I've talked about on my podcast, Boutique Talk, with Vin from Hard Copy Blues. Very, very nice little film here. And it also includes a bonus film, My Life as a Zucchini. Both films are worth your time. Then I'm going to move one title over, and in between Raging Bull and Rosemary's Baby, we have Risky Business, baby. I need to finally pop the sucker open and watch it, because it's been since my senior year of high school that I've seen Risky Business. I definitely need to change that. The next movie I have to put away is close to the bottom of this shelf, and it is The Last Voyage of the Demeter. I have yet to watch this one just yet. It looked very intriguing to me. If you've seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. But right now it's going in my last section, right between The Last Night in Soho and The Last Witch Hunter. My favorite boutique label of 2024 this year has to be Umbrella Entertainment. They continue to put out amazing box sets, the best box sets in the game. I have a large amount to put away in the collection, which means I'm probably gonna have to turn this beauty around, but let's make some room and put some stuff away. Move to Terrifier. Hopefully I can keep the Super Mario Brothers set where it is, but let's go all the way down to the D's, where I'm going to put in Dating the Enemy. This movie looks cute as all get out. One of my favorite subgenres is the body swap subgenre, and we have Guy Pearce involved in this sucker. Cannot wait to finally check this movie out. This one's going right next to Coffee, but we have another D title to go right next to Dating the Enemy, and that is Darling. And in fact, I did not alphabetize this correctly. I just put the D's together. So Darling is going to go next to Coffee. Coffee and Darling, that makes a lot of sense. Then Dating the Enemy, and then we can kind of move some stuff over so we can fit more in. Umbrella puts out a lot of great releases from overseas, including A Tale of Two Sisters. We've got Audition, we have The Chaser, and I Saw the Devil. But right next to I Saw the Devil, we're putting in another film, JSA, directed by Park Chan-wook, the director of Oldboy. This box set looks amazing. I've already made a video of an unboxing of this video. If you are very curious to see what it looks like, just look at my YouTube, dang it. Umbrella Entertainment is an Australian-based company. I forgot to mention that Dating the Enemy is an Australian film. Another Australian film. This looks very 90s. Love and Other Catastrophes. This reminds me of like a Reality Bites that we kind of had in the States. This one's going right next to The Last Wave, another Australian film, and Masters of the Universe. It's also cool to see a release that has been 45 years in the making get a box set that it deserves. The Prime Evils. This sucker was supposed to come out from Full Moon a very long time ago, but they just couldn't finish the effects. Now it has an amazing box set for it. This one's going right next to another very independent film with Primer and a trilogy I really want to see, the Pusher trilogy. And right next to the Pusher trilogy, we have The Quiet Family. Have no idea what this movie is about, but this cover art makes me want to watch it very badly. I will pretty dang soon, but right now this is going right next to the Pusher trilogy, like I said prior, and this amazing box set for the Raid Redemption. And folks, I think we did it, because we have one film left to put away. I think Super Mario Brothers can stay like that. There's a little gap here. I think there's enough room for Winnie the Pooh and the Piglet and Blood and Honey to watch this movie. I enjoy the second one a lot better than the first, so I'm glad that I have this nice box set to go with it. It's going right next to Upstream Color. This is from the director of Primer. I've never seen the sequel from this director. Cannot wait to do so. There's just so many great releases from Umbrella, and it's always nice to unbox a great looking box set and just kind of see what adventures await. I am loving the history of Lionsgate and their different horror movie themed releases they put out. Here's the one that they came out with this year, partnered with Bloody Disgusting. This is Texas Chainsaw, a movie I have yet to watch, but I have yet to see half of like the Leatherface saga, I guess you can say. This one is going in the collection next to The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw, and then Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Should Texas Chainsaw technically go in front of all of those? I think so. Are there too many movies that have Texas and Chainsaw in them? Yes, I do. Now it's time to go over the gory glory that is Vinegar Syndrome. They put out a lot of schlock, but I like to watch my schlock from time to time. We have a big stack of movies to put away, so let's waste no more time and go over to the actual Vinegar Syndrome section. Here are all the partner labels, which I'll get to later, but let's put away the VS proper, huh? Okay, first release I have to put away today is Edgar Allan Poe's Buried Alive. Love the nice embossing that they put on their slipcovers. They just do a hell of a job with their slipcovers. This one's going right in between Boggy Creek 2 and The Legend Continues, and Censor, a movie that I've been wanting to watch for the longest time and just haven't yet. Let's pan all the way over and put away some Ted Bundy. I've watched this film. Very, very messed up, but so was Ted Bundy and everything he did. So mission accomplished, I guess? This is going next to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and TC 2000, baby. And pretty dang close to Ted Bundy, we have Wolfpack. Ow! It's a football-themed slasher movie. That sounds fun to me. I'm hoping that it is good. This is going at the very end of the nice package slipcovers right next to Tough Guys Don't Dance. Never mind, I just lied straight to your face. I skipped over Trauma, and how can I skip over Trauma? One of Dario Argento's final films. This might be his final film. I am slowly but surely getting into the man's filmography, so when this was on sale, I knew I needed to add it to the collection. Starting out, the partner labels, we have Agfa and the Black Crystal. I found this used at my local store, have no idea what it's about, besides it is shot on 35mm, 70mm, some type of early grain film, and it's about true crime. So that has my wife's name written all over it. This is going right next to Boarding House, which has one of the craziest covers I've ever seen. Next up, I have a release from Altered Innocence, and this is a movie that I've wanted to see ever since I saw the trailer. That's The People's Joker. They are not technically part of Vinegar Syndrome anymore, but this is a release that they put out themselves. That also means that there is no slipcover included, so thank goodness this is at the end of that section, but I do have to say I kind of miss the slipcovers. Scrolling my way down the boutique boulevard, we have the Arrested Development documentary project from one of my favorite boutique labels, ETR Media. This sucker is going next to Awaken, which I heard is a very amazing 4K transfer, and At the Video Store, which is about renting movies, which if anybody wants to come rent a movie from me, I got a lot to choose from. Another one of my favorite boutique labels from ETR Media is Gunpowder and Sky. They have Her Smell, Kid Candidate, Tragedy Girls. I think I skipped over Eat Brains Love. But here's the newest I added to the collection, Villains, starring Micah Monroe and Bill Sarsgaard. I have to showcase off the other artwork here. Give me a second. Here we go. Look how beautiful that looks. Their heads are actually on a white picket fence. This movie was a treat. Very happy. This is like the epitome of a blind buy. Whenever I blind buy something, I want it to be at least as good as Villain, so I'm very happy to add this one to the collection. And just like Altered Innocence, they've gotten away from Vinegar Syndrome. Here is another example of that. TerrorVision. I found a TerrorVision title all jacked up and full of worms. Have no idea what this is about, but I could not pass it up when I found it used either. Now we're going all the way to the bottom of my shelf. This is where I kind of have a lot of random boutique labels. 88 Films, Visual Vengeance, Unearthed Films, Blue Underground, Oscilloscope Laboratories, and a whole bunch of MVD and Mill Creek. But what I do not have yet is Ronin Flicks. I have 6 movies from them. I thought there's a nice little hole right here. I will just start and putting their releases in, because again, this is another boutique label that does not get enough love. Haunt is made by 2 guys that are from Iowa. They also helped write A Quiet Place, as you can see right there. They also directed 65, which I was not a big fan of, but gotta rep the Iowa love whenever I can. So I'm gonna try to attempt to keep this one the way it is. And the other movies I'm going to add: The Lost, which is a modern day Last House on the left. That makes me both want to see it and not want to see it. Next up, There's Nothing Out There. This seems very meta from what I've read. I still need to see this one as well. But now let's go to the ones that I don't have slipcovers for. Game 6 sounds phenomenal. I want to say this is directed by Michael Keaton as well. Nope, directed by Michael Hoffman, excuse me, but stars Michael Keaton. Robert Downey Jr. Takes place during Game 6 of the World Series against the Yankees and Boston Red Sox, if I remember correctly. Then we have Modern Vampires. I have not seen this one yet either, but it's from the director of Forbidden Zone, which I thought was okay. The writer of Freeway, though, I thought Freeway was a absolute blast. Here's the back here. I do like the special features that are on Ronin Flicks movies. And last but not least, we have Nightmare Man. Terror never sleeps. That's probably the outlier of the bunch if I'm being kind about it. But I do kind of like having the Ronin Flicks section over here in my collection. I think that looks pretty dang sharp and kind of matches with the other random boutique labels I have on the bottom shelf. Looks like the next movie I have to add, I already have an edition in my collection, but this will be a Steelbook upgrade, folks. I have the Blu-ray copy for Sinister that I do not need anymore, so what do I do with these movies? I give them a little kick, and I go over here and grab the Steelbook version of Sinister. I love this movie, so I'm very happy to own a Steelbook edition of it. And it's going in the collection right next to Sisters and Sing. All right, next up, we have a couple titles to put away from Arrow Video, baby. The first one I found used, and that is the Cat O' Tales. I want to say I found this sucker for $14.99 out in the wild. Love adding a nice beefy box set to my Arrow Video collection. Looks like this one's going next to An American Werewolf in London and Deep Red, couple of Argentos back to back. Love to see it. Next up, we have The Snake Girl and the Silver-Haired Witch. Literally know nothing about this. I just found it in the wild and I'm like, hey, nothing like a good blind buy. And hopefully I'd love it when I actually pop it in. This sucker's going next to Sleep, which I thought was okay, and Southland Tales, which I also thought was okay. So maybe the movie will be okay. Who knows? Currently on my Steelbook boutique wall, I have a lot of my X-Men movies up. So if we go back over here to my collection, there's not a lot of X-Men movies here, but there is one that's not here. I think I only don't own one X-Men movie. And when I saw that Dark Phoenix was there with the slipcover, I don't care that it's not in 4K. I don't know if I'll ever watch this movie again. It is just nice to have a complete X-Men franchise in the collection if I can get it in here with one hand. There we go. This one is going next to the New Mutants, which is okay, and Logan, which is an absolute classic. So here are all of my Vinegar Syndromes, and on the same shelf, I have Imprint Films, a boutique label that I'm just getting into this year, and I think they are absolutely phenomenal. They are about on the same page as Vinegar Syndrome, if I do say so myself. I have a nice stack of movies that I just got during their summer sale a couple of months ago. Took a while for them to get here, but I'm very happy to add them nonetheless. Here is Midnight, going next to The Great Alligator, baby. And then after that, we have Overboard, and Overboard was $5. I could not pass that deal up with the slipcover. Are you kidding me? Absolutely, every day of the week. Oh no, there goes an enamel pin. I'll pick that up a little bit later. Then we have Wax Mask, Dario Argento adjacent. Like I said, I'm trying to watch as many movies from him as possible. I know he only kind of produced this one, but I'm still excited to watch it nonetheless. I should move Santa Sangre over there. And now we have the ones that do not have slipcovers. I have a couple of those as well. Right before Kathy's Curse, we have Blood for Dracula. And then kind of in the middle here, I would say in between Cemetery Man and No Way Out, we have Lost Soul, The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau. I've heard phenomenal things about this documentary. I'm a huge documentary guy, so very excited to check that one out as well. And oh my god, this shelf is so full. I had to put some stuff on top here, had to put some stuff on top over there. Oh my god. I need more space and I just built these shelves. What the heck? Do you want to play a game? No, silly, I want to watch a movie. And one of the ones that I most recently watched was Run, Lola, Run. I feel like this is a little bit overrated when I hear like how, I mean, it's a very original take. It's just very 90s. Not quite sure how well it is aged, but I did have a blast with it nonetheless. Just not a new wave classic in my opinion. But it's going next to Rudy and the Running Man. I feel like I haven't watched Rudy in such a long time, and I had never seen the Running Man. That's one that I wanted to for the longest time. I need to get around to doing that. So I also already put away a lot of my Arrow Video titles. Right next to Arrow Video, I have Second Sight Films, slowly growing. One of my favorite boutique labels putting out releases today, just because their transfers look so good. Honestly, their box sets are okay, but I would much prefer to have just the basic cases for Second Sight. I think they look very uniform, look very, very clean. This is just a little all over the place, and when you pull some of these out, I'm not a big fan of the packaging that the discs are actually housed in. So while they do look nice, I like the uniformity here of Second Sight, and I have 4 titles to put away with that uniformity. So let's waste no more time and move Steelbooks. They used to make Steelbooks back in the day, and their Steelbooks looked absolutely amazing. Here's one for the Return of the Living Dead, and here's one for Super Mario Brothers. I thought this was going to be the best release this movie ever got. But Umbrella, everybody knows by now, but this box set is my favorite box set of the year so far. But right here, right next to Super Mario Brothers, starting out the section, if I can flip this over, we have A Bittersweet Life, Kim Ji-woon directed. Don't know a lot about this movie, but Second Sight Films 4K transfers are second to none. They make the best in the business. So this is going right next to that. Up next, what do I have? I have Ganjin Haunted Asylum. So this sucker right here is going to go in the G's, and it's going right in between Frontiers and Green Room. I have 2 more. Next up is The Sacrament. The Sacrament is going to go almost all the way to the end, right next to Texas Chainsaw and Picnic at Hanging Rock. And then at the very end, we have the gloriousness that is You're Next. Absolutely love this film. Cannot wait to check out the 4K transfer, but this sucker is going at the very end right here, and I have just enough room for all of that. Oh my God. Again, remember what I said about the shelves? I can't believe they were filling up this quick. Going to the very top of my boutique wall, I have Synapse Films, and the latest Synapse Film title I'm adding is Crocodile, baby. Looks like a Jaws ripoff. That might not be the worst thing in the world. That looks like the worst day ever for that kid, though. This is going right next to Black Circle and Curtains. Here's a newer release title from Sony Pictures. We have the Garfield movie, and wasn't the biggest fan of this one. They pretty much could have put any animated IP in here. Do you imagine Garfield ever doing a heist? Well, if you ever wanted to see that combination of words and plot and Garfield, be my guest. I was not the biggest fan. I also wasn't the biggest fan of Gangster Squad and Gattaca I still haven't seen, but I've heard phenomenal things about. Right next to my Synapse Films, I have Viavision Entertainment. They have a lot of great beefy box set releases. I have one standalone without a slipcover or box. That is Rollerball. Let's add another one to the collection there, because I found this for $5 used, and I absolutely love Jason and the Argonauts. The stop motion animation, I think, is what made me love stop motion animation in the first place. So like I said, this is going to Rollerball. And remember when we talked about these nice beefy box sets? Here's Wolf Creek. Very, very nice set here. Going one shelf below Mr. Jacob and Turning Red, we have Watchmen Director's Cut and Watchmen the TV show. Now here's a new installment of the same type of a material, Watchmen Chapter 1. This is an animated form. I am hoping for good things because I have really liked Zack Snyder's movie and really loved the TV show. So I'm hoping for good things. We shall see though. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Going back down to the very bottom row here, I have a new title to add to the Mill Creek VHS collection, When a Stranger Calls. I found this in Kansas City at Entertain Mart. It was in a mall. Had a blast finding a lot of great movies. I have wanted to watch When a Stranger Calls for the very longest time. Cannot wait to finally do so. This is going right next to Side Out and Cutting Class, which I've heard is an okay slasher, but it's got a baby Brad Pitt, and that's the main reason why I want to see it. Coming back to the Flubber Sleepy Hollow shelf, we have Soul, another movie I found at Entertain Mart in Kansas City. One of my favorite Pixar movies, crazy to say, and nobody talks about it because it came out during COVID. Nobody was able to see it in theaters, never really got its time to shine, but now this sucker's gonna shine every time I watch it in 4K. This is going right next to Sonic the Hedgehog, Gotta Go Fast, and a Nazi film. I would say the biggest section on my boutique wall has to go to Shout Scream Factory. It's the first major boutique label that I started collecting for very heavily in like 2018. Here's the newest edition I get to add to the collection. Evil Dead Remake in glorious 4K. Love this film so much. I heard that there's not a lot of bells and whistles when it comes to the special features, but I found this for a pretty dang good price. Could not pass it up. I want to see the sucker shine in 4K so bad. It's going next to Event Horizon, which is another bat shark crazy movie, and The Fog, a John Carpenter movie that is also very solid. But I have one more title to put away in the Shout Select line, and that is Havoc. When I saw this, I'm like, Shout Select put out Havoc? That's very bizarre. I have a tiny Shout Select series of movies up here. I gotta move my D20 Shout Studios dice. Let's see here. Havoc is gonna go next to Elvis over here, so let's just move those a little bit. The dice is gonna be right in the way, but there we go. Havoc is now in the collection. If I can get it in there we go. And yeah, Havoc it still looks weird with movies like Roadhouse and Adaptation and When Harry Met Sally and Havoc. It's very funny that the next movie I'm putting away is so close to the Garfield movie because they both came out Memorial Day weekend of this year and they both definitely stunk up the box office. It's Furiosa, Mad Max Saga. This combination was supposed to be Puriosa and it just ended up not doing anything. This is supposed to be the next Barbenheimer. Kind of wish that happened because Furiosa is one of my favorite movies of the year so far and nobody has seen it. That makes me so sad. This is gonna go next to another movie not a lot of people have seen, a Judd Apatow hidden gem. Funny people, are people saying that? Am I starting a trend? And Fury, another movie that not enough people talk about. This movie is phenomenal. David Ayer directed the hell out of it. All right, so we have already talked about Shout Studios and we've already talked about Synapse Films, but the one in the middle here is one that I'm collecting kind of heavy for right now. That is Vestron Video. All of the titles that I've watched from this series, I have enjoyed pretty dang well. So when I saw that there are the two Coreys, Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, and Dream a Little Dream, I knew that I had to add it to the collection. All of these are also very cheap, which is another fun thing. Nice reason to collect physical media when you can get your hands on it for not a lot of money. This one's going right next to the Dentist collection. A very fun duology of horror movies there. And Earth Girls Are Easy. It's got Jeff Goldblum, a very early Jim Carrey, and he's playing an alien. Probably one of his most relatable roles. I'm going down, all the way down to the very last shelf. We are gonna hit the O's, baby, because I'm putting away the gorgeousness that is this Old Boy set from Neon Films. This thing is amazing. I did some trading with Corey Wilkie's Movies and Music, and I am so happy to add this to the collection. I have not seen Old Boy in such a long time that when this 4K came out, I wanted to buy it. It was just very stupidly expensive. Look how beautiful that looks in the collection. It has some nice like hardcover bound book material that it's made out of. It's going next to Old, which is okay, and I have the movie signed by M. Night Shyamalan. I wish the movie was a little bit better. And the Omega Man. I've heard that this is similar to I Am Legend. It's kind of based off the same material. Never seen it. Charlton Heston, though. That's the main reason why I go, ah! All right, next on the docket, we have another documentary series. This is Icons Unearthed, The Simpsons. I really enjoy this. I'm a sucker for a talking head doc. I will just say that right now. This is a good one, and this is a series of docs. I have more coming, but right now this is my only one, and right now this is gonna be right next to The Iceman. If you've never seen The Iceman, very good mob flick. And The Imitation Game, a movie I have not seen yet. Should I watch it soon? looks like I forgot one of my Kino Lorber titles down here, and that is Chains of Gold, starring John Travolta and a very, very baby Joey Lawrence and a drug addict baby Joey Lawrence. That sounds like a very fun time to me. This is going right next to the 4K of Brokeback Mountain and the 4K of Crybaby. Now I'm gonna go to the very bottom, towards the end of the alphabet shelf. Over here on the W's, I'm gonna put away a couple more of these bloody, disgusting Lionsgate Steelbooks. Here's Wolf Creek. I'll also show off my review of Wolf Creek. Thought it was okay, really wanted the movie to be a little bit more memorable, but right now this is the start of my Wolf section. Didn't realize the Wolf section was getting so full. But next, I gotta go all the way down here to Y. Let's make a space right here, I think. Right here, I think. Yeah, that one looks good, because I'm gonna put away the Steelbook for Your Next right here. Love this movie, but I have not seen it since I've had a Letterboxd account, so I really need to give this sucker a rewatch. This one is going, sorry about that arm shot there, probably did not want to see that. We got a nice Steelbook for Young Guns, and a movie I haven't seen in a very long time, Youth in Revolt. And speaking of movies that I have not watched in a very long time, probably close to when this Blu-ray actually came out, I'm very happy to have Attack the Block in my physical media collection. I remember having an absolute blast with this film, and right now this is going in between Atomic Blonde, which is also a blast, and a great trilogy that I also need to rewatch very soon, the Austin Powers trilogy. Groovy indeed, a lot of vagina. So I'm at a predicament here. I'm probably gonna put this away in my normal movies, even though it is a boutique release. This is only my first film from Grindhouse releasing, but I want a heck of a lot more. Here is William Shatner with Impulse, and this is amazing. I love the slipcase design on here. The nice sleek pops look phenomenal on here. The gloss pops are popping like crazy. This movie is going next to Imitation Game. Hey, remember we talked about that? And Inception, and Inception, and Inception. So as you can kind of see, this is my storage room where I house a lot of my DVDs, a lot of VHS tapes, but I also have a Christmas section, because when the month of December hits, I go hard with my holiday movies. I have a new one to add to that pile, Deadly Games, Dial Code Santa Claus. I've heard very promising things about this, so I cannot wait to finally watch it for myself. This is going right next to Deathcember, which is an anthology film. It's not that great, but I'm keeping it because of this stop motion animated short that is on there. If you know, you know. If you don't, figure it out, because it's very depressing but amazing. And Christmas Vacation, which is just amazing. Not depressing, but families, am I right? And all of my DVDs here just kind of slap-chopped, thrown together, no real reason for where they're at. This is like wrestling and drama. This is comedy. This is my TV section right over here, and it is just a pile. Like, it has no rhyme or reason at all, but I do see that there are a few Walking Dead seasons back there, and I have The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, which is kind of a spin-off take with just Rick and Michonne. Interested to watch this. I'm hoping I get to it one day, but who the heck knows? This is going with all the other Walking Dead, so when the time does come to pop that sucker in, I will be ready. But oh my god, I need to organize this TV shelf a heck of a lot better. And you know what? If we kind of pan up here, here are all of my horror DVDs. And like you can see here, there's not a lot of space for these either. But I also have a lot of random horror Blu-rays that I don't think are worthy of the shelf space to be out front with everything else. So I'm gonna go over one by one what I'm adding in here. Brahms the Boy 2. I've heard this one's better than the original Boy, but I've not seen the first Boy. In fact, I do believe I have it somewhere in this this set over here. It used to be alphabetized, and then I just started throwing them. But there's Brahms the Boy 2. Next up, open 24 hours. Pray you never run out of gas. Again, I will probably only watch these in the month of October, so they're gonna lay right here. Here is a just a short film collection Okay, thank you, Horror Pack. We've got Cocaine Werewolf. Again, don't know when I'm going to be in the mood to watch this, so this is going right here. I've got Deer Camp 86, which does look like a load of fun, but again, kind of is in the same realm as all the other ones that I'm putting over here. Terra Firma, I really haven't heard anything about. Let Madness Blossom. You can blossom in the DVD dungeon just fine. And last but not least, Stoker Hills, which I do probably out of this entire stack is the one that I want to watch the most. Mr. Tony Todd is in this sucker. But yeah, there is my stack of horror Blu-rays. And this kind of gives me another idea on where to put some like bulk stuff. So here is my boutique wall, but over here are some kids VHS tapes to where they kind of pop them in the player. Anytime they want to watch a kids movie, they can go over here. This was my dream as a kid, so I'm glad I was able to give that to my kids. They use it from time to time. But above here is just kind of the overflow of movies that I don't feel are worthy of the collection out there. So I've put them over here, and now I have a new stack of movies to add to that. Or add to this stack of movies, I guess. Here is In the Cut. Don't know anything about this, but the cast is pretty dang stacked. So I do want to watch it. Ooh, Jane Campion directed this one too. Maybe it should not go on this stack next to Shark Night, but that's where it's going. Actually, Shark Night should go with the horror movies. I can go through here and do all the horror movies I want to keep. I will do that a little bit later. Here's Butcher's Crossing, Nicolas Cage in a Western. He's a Roman buffalo. Okay, sounds intriguing, but not intriguing enough. I love Hostage. I think I'm gonna hate Setup. I hate the way the spines look on here. So even though I love Hostage, I am just gonna put Hostage up on this sucker. There is a tack right here that I will move before my kids get it, but I have to stack these up pretty evenly. Here is Into the Blue. Again, a movie I have not watched since it came out. Am I gonna watch it anytime soon? Who the heck knows? We also have Cold Pursuit with Liam Neeson. Let's put that right next to Butcher's Crossing. We've got Bloodwork. Have not seen this before, but it's directed by Clint Eastwood as well, and I am a completionist, if anything, so I will watch that one of these days. Requiem for a Heavyweight. I love me a good sports film, but I don't know when I'm gonna get to this one. We have a double feature of Richard Pryor, Which Way Is Up, and the Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. I do like Richard Pryor. I haven't seen either of these, but it's another one of those dang double packs, so I'll put that on top of Rick and Morty. We have Devotion on 4K. Not a big fan of like the fighter pilot genre, even though Glenn Powell was in this before he was in Top Gun Maverick. And Jonathan Majors, is he gonna be in anything again? Who knows? He's on my stack, so good job, Jonathan. And last but not least, we have the Color Purple remake. I haven't even seen the original Color Purple yet, so I'm gonna watch that before I watch this. So this is also gonna go over here, but I'm gonna go through here and get all the horror movies and kind of organize those accordingly. And these won't count towards the count, but if any of you were wondering, here are the movies that I took from that stack that I'm adding to this stack. Yay, more stacks. Oh man, but this box set, I don't want to hide it at all. The best box set that this franchise has ever gotten. Hopefully that changes whenever a 4K, even a Blu-ray box set like this. Hopefully, I want something. I love Freddy Krueger. And for the last boutique title, let's go over to my 88 film section and end with a movie. This is like one of the reasons why I love boutique labels. This is called The Blue Jean Monster. I would have never heard of this film ever, but reading the back, this reminds me a lot of the movie Crank. The dude dies, comes back to life, and this is like Frankenstein meets Crank. He's got to be jolted with electricity so he can continue his last final vengeance run before he dies. Yes, please sign me the heck up. It's going next to Nightmare Man, which I have not seen, but you saw me put it in the collection already, and The Flag of Iron. And that, my friends, will do it. 100 movies were put away into the collection. Makes my heart feel very, very good. It also makes my heart feel good to see the stack is down to just like 2 little guys. Oh, isn't that cute? I am very happy. Mission accomplished. Thank you for coming along for the ride. If you got this far, that's amazing, because I feel like this video is going to be long. It's taken me a long time to film it, let alone edit it. I'm not looking forward to doing that, but hopefully it all turned out Thanks again for watching. If you like these videos, let me know in the comments that you want to see more. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hey everybody, and yes, even though this video is super duper long already, I'm still doing an after credit scene. I really want to see who gets to the end of this video. My question for you, you've seen the way that I organize. I do alphabetically, and then I also do alphabetically for the boutique labels that I have. I want to know, how do you organize your own collection? I'm always curious. I worked at Hollywood Video in college for a year, so that got my brain working alphabetically, and I can't escape it. And it helps me find movies very quickly, so I'm glad I can't escape it. But I'm always curious how people put their movies away. God, Vin from Hard Copy Blues, he puts his Criterion by spine number. I would not be able to find anything ever, but I'm always fascinated to see why people do what they do. So let me know how you organize in the comments. Thanks for getting this far, and I think the zoom in has to be for my movies, because oh my God, that took forever.